Question for Cameron based upon what you just said.
Come on, let's keep it civil.
This is civil. Wait a minute, Mr. Ingram. Now, look, if the principal tells you that there are children in his school, Cameron, who are being adversely affected by your music, do you care?
I care, but you got to talk to their parents.
What if they don't have good parents?
While they're in school, they have to have parents to be in school. Somebody send them to school.
No, they don't have good
parents. So listen, and if that's the case, homeboy, whoever's in my ear on the television, you need to have parent-teacher conferences with your students. Whether it's their aunt, their cousin, their sister, somebody send these kids to school. They're not 11 years old staying home by themselves. I can't go home and talk to these students at night. You need to have more parent-teacher conferences if you have problems with your students.
Right, let him reply. Let him reply. Go ahead. Let him reply. Okay. Mr. Thomas, I'll reply.
That was a good point, Cam.
Thank you.
Right. Actually, no, it's an excellent point. But actually, you are talking to these students because they listen to you every day. See, you are.
So I got more influence than their parents. That's a problem.
No.
That's a problem. That is a problem.
That is a problem.
So you need to have parents-teacher conference because these are your students.
I got a couple of messages from some of my subscribers asking me to talk about how hip-hop is very influential in either a negative way or a positive way towards society, especially the black community. And I got some questions asking me to speak on reality TV and the antics that we see going on and some of these little reality shows that are on TV. And what I want to do is I just want to talk about the entertainment industry as a whole. Now, like I've said many a times before, I do work within the music industry. A lot of these guys you see on TV, I've had personal conversations with, I've worked with. I know a lot of these guys, that you see on TV in person, And one thing I want to say is that a lot of the stuff that you see on TV or you hear within a lot of these hip-hop songs are not their actual reality. A lot of times, they're speaking from neither past lifestyle or they're speaking for maybe someone that they know that's still stuck in the conditions that they happen to be blessed to get out of, or it could be strictly just for entertainment purposes. And I think that, in society, especially here in America, anything that is black is attacked. It doesn't matter whether, you got brothers in the hip-hop industry that's making millions of dollars, you have them on TV, like a show like For the Love or Ray J or For the Love of Flair Flav or whatever, or whether it's in the sports industry, anything that's black where you have a bunch of black folks making money and taking that money and making businesses or doing clothing lines or etc., it's going to be attacked. And it's nothing new. Just like I've said before in my previous videos, even when hip hop was conscious, people were attacking it then. They were saying it was going to be a riot, or they were egging on racial tension. Hip hop has always been a threat to America. And I think we live in a society nowadays where people are afraid to look in the mirror and analyze themselves, or they're afraid to take responsibilities for their own actions. And I'm not making a video defending the entertainment field or not defending it. I just want to make a video that makes everybody look at the overall situation from a different point of view. Now, going back to hip hop and how I said that a lot of the things that are portrayed in these videos are not these guys' lifestyles. I can take for example, 2 Chainz. I had an opportunity to work with 2 Chainz a couple of months ago. Very intelligent brother. A lot of people don't think he's really that intelligent because of his music. It's kind of comedy, or he talks about certain things. But 2 Chainz is a very intelligent brother. How many of you guys know that 2 Chainz never made a C in high school? He graduated with a 4.0 or higher in his graduating class. How many of you guys know 2 Chainz went to college and played basketball? See, a lot of people don't know that because neither they don't do their research, or it's not displayed through the camera, or they just go on what they see. And I think we have a lot of people within our community, meaning the black community, that don't want to look in the mirror and say, you know what, instead of me always blaming hip-hop for a lot of things that go on, whether it be being influential towards their children or influential towards the community as a whole, or portraying negative stereotypes, why don't I look in the mirror and say, hey, you know, what am I not doing as a parent? Now, don't get me wrong. There are people, you know, like I said, I work in the industry. There are people that know nothing about the hip-hop culture that egg these guys on to portray certain stereotypes, or, you know, talk about this or talk about that, or, you know, talk more about drugs so it can sell albums. I see that every day. And, you know, that's not in my job title. My job title is to take an artist and make them greater than what they are. It's not to basically play Mr. Potato Head and put them together and say, go out here and talk about this to sell records. That's not in my job title, but I do see that within the industry. But, you know, even though we have music that influence our children to maybe have a certain mindset, or to go out here and portray themselves in a negative light, or, you know, maybe not to treat the black woman with respect, or not to treat the black men with respect. At the same time, the number one key thing is the parents. You know, I grew up listening to Tupac and Biggie and, you know, NWA and those type of guys who talked about drugs, talked about the gangster lifestyle, and etc., etc. But I always knew as a child, this is entertainment. Just because I hear Ice Cube say, you know, I'm gonna go shoot a cracker in the head or something like that, it didn't make me want to go, you know, down the street or in my room or something, go get a gun and go kill a white person, because I had that education, that knowledge, and that self-discipline from my parents and from my family. So the number one key thing is the parents getting involved in these children's lives. You can't expect hip-hop or reality TV to raise your children. It's up to you. And I think a lot of parents out here are just, you know, they don't want to take responsibility for the actions that they have contributed to their children displaying certain things, whether it be you know, negative stereotypes, or a certain type of language, or just them wanting to be like, you know, Ice Cube, or, you know, Future, and so on and so on. It's about the parent being the number one influential person within that child's life. And, you know, I can't stress that anymore. And, you know, like I said, you know, I do think that music and reality TV shows do influence our community, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, I do think that you know, some of the things need to be talked about from both sides, which I've said in previous my videos. One of the things that we hear a lot, you know, and it's really a static within the hip-hop culture, is you have the old beefing with the young. You know, the young saying, oh, well, you know, you guys don't respect our new art, or, you know, you guys just don't like us because we're the new thing coming up, or we're running hip-hop right now. And then you got the old guys saying, well, it's not like how it was back in my day, or, you know, you guys not like Marvin Gaye or Curtis Mayfield, and so on and so on. And in my personal opinion, I do think hip-hop was in a better place in the late 80s and early 90s, you know. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, we can't be prudish about things that are being talked about in these records. You know, when NWA came out and said fuck the police, or they were talking about you know, things that were going on within the streets, these are things that are going on. This is the reality of America. And I think a lot of times, you know, especially within the black community, because we deal with a lot of issues and not understand it, but because we deal with a lot of issues, we want to hear or be bombarded with conscious music, or we want to be bombarded with political music, and that's not all of hip-hop. Now, I do think that one of the main problems that we have in today's whether it's hip-hop or reality shows is that there's not a balance. I think balance is the number one thing that is destroying our reputation on television, or whether it's through music. There's no balance. You need to have black folks cutting up on TV, you know, or acting ignorant or being ratchet or whatever, so to say, or you have guys within the hip-hop industry glorifying a drug lifestyle, talking about how much money they have or how many women they've slept with, or you have some women, you know, that dress half naked, act like, you're not a woman unless you can please a man sexually or you can have that sex appeal about you. I think we need to have those other avenues. We need to have more, political and conscious rappers that are in the mainstream. We need to have that woman, like a Jean Grey or Rhapsody, those women that are talking about something besides sex or what we would quote unquote say, Nicki Minaj talks about with the reality show. We need to have shows that, which I think is a very good show out right now, the TD Jakes show. I don't know if you guys check that out, but he speaks about certain issues that go on within our community. We need to have shows like that. We need to have shows that show us in a positive light. Don't always show about, violence or what's going on in Chicago or the LA gangs or whatever. Don't always show it. Show positive things that are going on within the community. Me for an example, I run with an organization called the 100 Black Men out here in LA. We do things every day in the community. We go out and speak, we feed children, we help out the homeless, we do amounts of things. But that's not being displayed, and we don't do our work for a certificate of achievement, for someone to kiss our ass or put us on TV. We do it because we genuinely care about the community, but at the same time, those things are not being displayed on television. Instead, what we're seeing is a mass majority of just ignorance. And like I said, all stories have to be told, whether it's from the street perspective, whether it's from what we would call those who live in certain conditions, like the projects or the quote unquote hood, or those who live in middle class, like going back to the Cosby Show, shows like that. We need balance, and that's the number one thing. But the number one problem and where we can really defeat a lot of the ignorance that's being fed to our children is making sure we are the number one influential person within the household, within the community. If the community is strong and the household is strong, you don't have to worry about rappers influencing your kids to do something negative, or your girl sitting up wanting to be like one of these reality stars fighting on TV, or just acting like they don't know how to conduct themselves in public. It all starts in the home. And once you have everything intact in the home and everything is cleaned up in your home, you don't have to worry about negative influence. Because when they go out there and they see certain things on TV or listen to certain things, or they go out into the everyday world and hear people saying certain things or acting ignorant, they know right from wrong. So they're not going to fall into those traps that are designed for them to conduct themselves in a certain manner. So that's what I basically want to say out here, that it all starts from in the home. And for those who have a problem with a lot of the hip hop that's being displayed out here, or reality shows, right into some of these shows. Stop supporting them. A lot of you guys out here, you talk about loving hip hop, you talk about Flavor Flav, or the show that got canceled, the Shorty Low joint or whatever. You guys talk about those shows, but you go out and you watch them. You buy them on DVD. You're buying a lot of these rappers' music that you quote unquote don't like. Oh, the beat hot, man. The beat, I like the beat. That's why I bought it. You're buying that. So you really can't complain if you go out and you're supporting these different projects financially. Every time you turn on the TV and you click on those shows, you're supporting that network. You're supporting that TV show. So it's about you guys standing up and saying, hey, we don't want this. We want more balance. We want to see different things on TV, or we want to hear different artists on the radio or on certain records. So that's what it's about. And like I was saying in previous videos, a lot of you guys want to hear conscious music and political music. It's out there. Don't judge hip hop by what you hear on television, or what you see on television, or what you hear on the radio. There are artists out there that speak about politics, speak about conscious issues, but you guys just don't want to go out there and look for them. So that's what I want to say about this. This whole entertainment thing. A lot of this starts in the household, and you got a lot of these old guys out here, old women. I'm not gonna call them old, but those who I would say maybe 40 and up, or creeping in their 40s. You guys are not prudes. A lot of the older people talk about the sex that's being advertised within videos or songs or whatever, but yet you guys are watching porno. You guys are doing freaky shit in the bedroom, or you calling each other niggas, or you gossiping in the church. You guys are doing things that are portraying a lot of the things that we see on TV. But when you hear a rapper say these things, or you see something on TV, you want to crucify them. So like I said, it's time for us to look in the mirror and start looking at the things that we do to contribute to a lot of this drama that's out here. But that's basically what I want to say. You know, you guys can give me your feedback if you want, but I do think we need balance in American television, especially when it comes to the black community, and we need balance within the music industry, which is what I'm trying to do right now. I'm one of those guys that you don't hear about as trying to push to get those creative artists out there and get those guys who are talking about both sides of the fence. You know, but you guys give me your feedback and what you feel about today's reality shows or music. I'm out, you guys. Peace.